Hey, what is up, DCS Crew? So you're probably wondering why I have these flashlights out. Well, the truth is, this is a Nitecore video, and I wanted to showcase some of the different uses that I have for the Nitecore lights that I have picked up during my time, during, I guess, my everyday carry. We all look to optimize our gear, and this has been my journey through Nitecore. Now, Nitecore makes a bunch of different lights, different batteries, and different chargers that fit different uses. Three of those uses are basically from right to left. Tactical use, as an example, this is the Nitecore P26. EDC use, which in this case, this is the gray anodized aluminum Nitecore TIP. And just for, pocket keychains, kind of like a pocket minimalist EDC, they have lights like this one right here. This is the Nitecore TIP SE. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss a particular light that actually fits both of these particular genres. It can be a keychain sized EDC for minimalist use, and it could be something just for everyday carry. If that's the only light you carry, you'd probably pretty well suited. Now, the light that I am actually referring to is this guy right here, the Nitecore TIP SE. Now, this is an updated version of the Nitecore TIP and the TIP 2, if I'm not mistaken. And this one can hit 700 lumens. It has a lot of really cool uses. It has been updated, and we have quite a bit to talk about. So why don't we get right to the point? Hey, all right, guys, welcome back. Now, opening up the box from the Nitecore TIP SE, you have your Nitecore TIP SE flashlight. You have a removable and an adjustable pocket clip right here. It's polymer, and I believe this also fits the original tip. And let me go ahead and put this right back here. Okay. There we go. And it also comes with a small plastic bag that contains a keychain lanyard. I have this little circular lanyard for the keychain, as well as a smaller one with a latch, so you can kind of use it, say like if you wanted to combine it with something like this. Now, put that to the side, and yeah, I can just leave this right here for now. Okay, so the Nitecore TIP SE is designed to be, by Nitecore's standards, as a keychain EDC flashlight, okay? But it does have the clip, so just in case you choose not to use it for something like that, you can go ahead and use it that way. Now, the clip is gonna come into a secondary use later, but I will get to that, but we will touch back on that. Now, this comes in either standard black, as you can see here, or a gray variant, very much like the Nitecore TIP. And the original TIP, which this is the predecessor for, is a light that actually hits a maximum of 360 lumens. Now, the new TIP SE hits 700 lumens as it's designated up here, okay? Now, just to kind of give you a size bearing for this, okay, and I did show this before. This is the Nitecore TIP SE right here, and then this is the Nitecore TIP. It's a bit longer and it's quite a bit fatter. Okay, now just to kind of give you a little bit more of a size comparison. Okay, this is the Nitecore TIP. The TIP. And this is the Leatherman Micra. So as you can see, it's about the size of the Micra. The Micra is a little bit skinnier, but that's probably because of the fact that this has the pocket clip listed on there, okay? Now, the emitter on this particular light was upgraded from the original Nitecore TIP. They used a Cree XP emitter, and I believe it was just a single emitter. And then what they've done with this one, that's actually based from the Nitecore TIP SE, is they've actually used 2 of the Osram P8 LEDs that you see on this particular light. So instead of just one that's on this one, they actually have 2 emitters, which kind of like floods it out a bit instead of just keeping one nice tight hotspot, which is actually pretty cool, because for something EDC, you want something that's not going to be, in my opinion, a thrower. You want something that's going to illuminate the immediate area. And for something so small, being that this is just a little wider, they were able to stick 2 emitters here, which kind of extends the output width instead of just the length. and the throw in this particular case. So it extends it as far as flood instead of throw, although it does offer quite a bit in lumens, and it illuminates the area that's flooded out. Now, that's not to say that it's a very floody flashlight, because Nitecore actually takes its pride in giving quite a bit of different distance out for throw as opposed to flood, but we can obviously test that out later, which I will go ahead and do in this video. Now, I do want to talk about a few of the pros, and let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Okay, now, one of the pros that is on this particular light is that it is no longer USB chargeable. Excuse me, micro USB chargeable. Okay, so you have a faster, more optimized charging, and for Android users, this is going to be a really cool cameo for you all, because what it actually uses is a USB-C cord. Now, cable. Now, the funny thing about this is that a lot of companies are starting to switch to to USB-C, and as you can see, the charging port is right here. Okay, it's actually covered right under the pocket clip. Now, a lot of users of flashlights really appreciate this, especially if they're Android users, because there's no need to go ahead and pick up an extra cable. You can basically hook this up anywhere, if it's in your car, if you're using a laptop, pretty much anything that has a USB input, something that you can put the USB and, you know, plug it in. There's even, you know, areas around the house that you can actually use certain outlets and such, and you really, if you don't, all you really need is one of these, and you can go ahead and hook this up, and you're pretty much good to go, just like any other charger. But you can use this for your Android phone. Unfortunately for iPhone users, that's a bit of an issue, including myself, that I am an iPhone user. But in any case, now I have an extra cable just in case I convert to Android, which I probably won't, but moving on. So there are two different modes. There is daily, which is like a 30-second mode. Okay, so while you're using it, it will actually emit light for about 30 seconds, and then it will automatically turn off. And in order to go ahead and turn it back on, you just click the bottom switch, which is to turn it on and off. Okay, and then there is a constant light mode. Constant on mode, excuse me, and there is a means to go ahead and press it, and you can go ahead and use the constant on mode. I will probably go ahead and show it in this video. If not, I can show it in a future video upon request. But that's the way that this particular light works. Okay, now for direct access to the turbo mode, okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can take this towel and put this right here. Okay, to be able to access the turbo mode, you have to understand how the button layout works. This is to turn it on and off, and this is to cycle. This top button right here is to be able to go ahead and cycle the different modes. Okay, so to be able to go ahead and access the turbo mode right off the back is just a direct use of it, and it's just a momentary turbo. What you do is with the two buttons here, you use the top button, and that's to be able to go ahead and cycle through the modes, or to access full on turbo mode momentarily. Okay, now for memory mode, tapping on the button. So with this on, okay, say you're at mid and you press it off, put it back on, and it goes right to the lumens that you were at before. Speaking of which, for low mode, just direct access, you want to go ahead and use the on button. So say you're looking for something at night, your girlfriend is sleeping, your wife is sleeping, or maybe your dog is sleeping, you know, and you don't want to disturb them. Maybe you have to find your way to the bathroom without stubbing your toe. I know it's happened to me quite a few times. This is the equivalent of moonlight mode. So what you do is you hold on to the on button, and there you have it. It's momentary moonlight mode. Okay, instead of just turning it on and then have access to a mode that you had before. It's super bright, your girlfriend gets up, screams at you, and you end up sleeping in the guest room. Okay, so those are the different some different modes that you do have on this particular light. And I do want to go ahead and talk a little about the internals. Now, the battery capacity on this particular light is that of, I guess, the equivalent of almost a CR123A battery. Okay, and I'll see if I can go ahead and post an image of that battery itself on here. It's something that I used in a lot of my OLED products, and a lot of the smaller lights use that because it's a small form factor, and you can kind of fill it for, if I'm not mistaken, up to 750 milliamp hours, which is basically the charge that runs these batteries. Internally, this has a battery that runs off of about 500 milliamp hours. So that's like your standard CR123A battery, and that's good because it's constantly rechargeable. It is going to hold the charge for quite some time, and based on the different light levels, provided that you're not going to be constantly using max, that is actually going to be a good thing. Okay, so just to keep that in mind, like I showed you before, to be able to go ahead and charge this particular light, you go ahead and you connect, the USB-C to the wall, and then you connect the USB-C directly into this particular portion right here, and it will start to charge. Now, let me see if I can go ahead and connect it this way. Okay, this is my portable battery from Anker. This is my Anker IQ. I'll go ahead and stick this here. Stick this directly into the battery slot. Okay, and I will turn this on. Okay, so you can see this is on and this is charging. Okay, now that is a red light to indicate that it is charging. Okay, now go ahead and take that off real quick. Put that back on. There we go. Put that to the side. Okay, so now another pro that I have found with this light is that unlike some of the other EDC lights, like this guy right here, this actually has a notch at the bottom for you to be able to go ahead and add like a small kind of a cable or a lanyard and such, and because of that, it cannot table stand. So yeah, it can stand like this, but the truth is you want the emitter to be up because you want it to act like maybe a candle or even low light mode, that sort of thing. With this one, they've actually solved that because now you have an area to be able to put, some very thin, lanyard cord or even paracord, not, 550 paracord, but just something a little bit thinner, and maybe even, just something for use onto a keychain just to throw it on there. But aside from that, they've constructed it so it can actually tail stand, and you can actually use it in this particular manner. Okay. I thought that was a really cool option because there's a lot of people who don't realize how useful that becomes when you're in a room, you want to turn on a small amount of light and kind of use this as a bit of a candle to be able to light to illuminate the room and do what you have to do, keep your hands free, and then go ahead and do your business, put this back in your pocket and keep going. So that said, there's a lot of really cool things about this particular light. Let's go ahead and show what it looks like when the light itself is used in complete darkness, and so you can see the different modes. Now, there are, if I recall correctly, 4 modes, okay? There's moonlight mode, which is roughly about 1 lumen. There's the low mode, which is roughly about 30 lumens. There's mid light mode, which is about 180 lumens. And then there's the high, or I guess turbo mode, which maxes out at 700 lumens, as it's stated on the box from Nitecore. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and test that out and show it off in a quick video. Okay, so it is pitch black here in the corridor of the room right next to my office. So this was roughly measured at around 15 feet, and being that this is an EDC flashlight, I figured for close range this would actually be a good gauge. So I'm gonna place the Nitecore TIP SE directly above the camera, and then I'm going to cycle through the different light modes in hopes that this would help gauge more or less how the light operates in the dark and the usage of the different modes. So first we're going to open this up with the first mode, which is 1 lumen. Okay, you can't really see too much, but I can assure you that the light is indeed on. Okay. All right, placing it right above the camera. Now, mode number 2. I believe that's 30 lumens. As you can see, that gives enough ample light to be able to move around in the house. I think that's pretty good. All right. Now, this is mode 3. This is 180 lumens. A little bit brighter. Okay. And now we're gonna go ahead and use turbo And the way we end up using that is by holding the top button, which is the mode select button, and we're gonna hold that down. And as you can see, quite a bit of light. And by depressing it, it's gonna take you right back to that 180 and back to 1, 30, 180, and turbo. There you have it. All right, guys, so there it was. There you got to see the different light that's emitted from the Nitecore TIP SE. You got to see it in low, mid, high, and turbo. Lumens 1, 30, 180, and 700. Now, once you've used this particular light for a while, with modes like, say, like the TUP, okay? One good thing about this particular light is when you turn it on using the bottom button, very similar to this one where you have the power button and then you have the different modes, what this has is a little LED screen that shows you the actual lumens that you're using, and then it shows you how much time you have left. Now, this obviously does not have that anywhere, but there is a way to know more or less how much charge you do have. And if you understand how the light is used, you will know which mode that you're on. So by that, you can just kind of play it by eye. But to know how much time you have, in reality, what you need to do is to press the mode button when it's off. And you may have seen that earlier. This is this top button. And what you do is you press the mode button and it gives you a flash of a green light, a flash of red light. And I'm gonna do it one more time, very close to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so you saw the little red emitter, the little LED that's inside of that light emit like 3 times. So now if it flashes 3 times, that means the battery is between 50 and 100% in power. If it flashes 2 times, that means the battery is emitting either 10 all the way to 50% power. And if there was just one flash, buddy, you gotta charge your shit because it's got less than 10% remaining, and you're gonna need that. If you're at 10%, then you really need to charge your battery. So that said, this is a really, really cool setup. If I could offer some cons and when I say cons, it's more constructive criticism. These are things that I did not like that was a part of the package for the Nitecore TIP SE, okay? So number one, that USB-C cable that I showed you, this one right here, it's actually something that is optional. This is from Nitecore. This is branded by Nitecore, but this does not come with the actual package for the Nitecore TIP SE. It's assumed that you will be getting this cable by some other means, or that you will be buying it specifically from Nitecore. Now, I prefer to use Nitecore stuff with Nitecore, just like I like to use Nitecore batteries and Nitecore chargers for their stuff. Although Nitecore chargers are the shit, I use it for everything. But that's one thing that I was like, if you are an Android user, you do have that USB-C compatibility with your cable and this. But if you're not, you're basically SOL, kind of like me, you're shit out of luck because you are an Android user. So unfortunately, they have not switched to that yet. Hopefully they do someday, but in the meantime, yeah, you need a USB-C cable because it's not included. Now, the good news is from Nitecore, if you want to get one from factory, it's $4.99. Literally $4.99. So yeah, it's definitely worth picking up. And that brings me to the next portion. Now, the power drain. Now, the power drain is mainly from that 700 lumen, turbo that you have. But like I had mentioned before, you have 1 lumen, 30 lumens, 180 lumens, and then it jumps to 700. That's a bit of a problem because between 180 and 700, there is a lot of territory there that is missed. We're talking quite a bit of lumen power. So I would have liked to have seen something like a 300 or 400, lumen level, kind of like their high before they get right to turbo. I would have really liked to have seen that in this particular package. Now, Granted, I think that they probably did that because the 700 lumen is just going to be like a momentary 700 where it steps down, you know, almost immediately. Because something of this size with 2 emitters like this, pumping out 700 lumens, like I said, it's just a very, very small style flashlight. This will heat up extremely quickly, and it'll probably either, you know, burn up the internals or screw up the battery, something like that. And it would probably render it useless pretty quickly, and it would probably make it look bad. But if it were me, I would want to see something that would max out, say, at like 500, but that can hold those 500 lumens for a little bit more time, or even have just a middle mode. You know, if you're going to have a 700 lumen, you know, turbo, give me a 300 to 400 lumen high. You know, that would be something great that I would like to see with this. And I feel that the TIP SE really needs something like that. And the last thing that I do want to go ahead and say that was something that I found to be a bit of a drag is, say for example, with the TIP, if you press it and you hold this down, if you notice, there's a lockout mode for this particular light. Okay, I love that. Now, I have lockout modes for a lot of different other lights. Now, with the Tiki LE, what they've done is, if you just press this once, it's not gonna work. If you hold it down, it's gonna go ahead and work at max. But if you just press it, it's never gonna turn on. And that's its latent lockout mode. What you need to do is you have to click it twice, and you can actually start using the actual light itself. With this particular light, there is no lockout mode. None whatsoever. Now, but there is a kind of workaround solution, and this was something that somebody from the Nitecore store actually talked to me about. They actually told me that they had one of these, and for one of the original models, excuse me, they didn't have this one, they had one of the more original models, and they mentioned that what you could do, let me see if this works here, there we go. You could actually flip the clip onto the other side, which basically keeps you from touching it, touching any of the buttons and actually using any of this because of the way that the clip has been generated. And just kind of throw this in the pocket if you're going to end up using it as part of a keychain, which is pretty smart, because what happens is, even though this is pretty loose, it's not going to move much in the pocket. And then the way that the clip is constructed, look, I'm not able to turn that on in any way, shape, or form, okay? So that's something to consider. That is one way to be able to go ahead and lock out the light. If you move it a little bit, that's a really easy way to go ahead and max lumens though. But let me go ahead and take this off really quick. There you go. Slip this back on. And there we go. You can actually put it all the way back here. The truth is, I like it right there. There we go. All right. So that is the Nitecore TIP SE. This is a really cool little functional flashlight. I think that it's a bit of an upgrade, in all honesty, from the Nitecore TIP, and it's something that I would probably carry quite a bit more than the TIP. It's not only lighter, it's smaller, it's skinnier, it has really good lumen output. And to be completely honest, you're going to use it in extreme darkness. 180 lumens isn't really that bad when you're faced with total darkness, especially like when you're in the bathroom and somebody turns off the light in there and you need something to be able to go ahead and show off, you know, where the heck the toilet paper is and stuff. I mean, let's be honest, you know, if you're fumbling around, whether you hit the small one and you know, put just the one lumen, or you end up hitting the top button and you end up using all of the 700 lumens at your disposal, you're going to be able to see something when you're in the bathroom. And who knows, it could actually save your handsome life when you got to, you know, reach for that toilet paper. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video on this particular note and say, guys, if you are looking for a reliable flashlight, you're typically going from somebody who doesn't really know flashlights or is just pretty new to flashlights. They're going to kind of, you know, gear you towards you know, the lights like Olight. Okay, if you're going to look for something that's budget, you're probably going to be dealing with something like Sulfur. Okay, but if you're looking for something that is reliable, that is worth the money that you spend, a buy once, cry once kind of thing, guys, not only is Nitecore great, but there are models just like this that come around that's less than, what, 30 bucks. Gives you 700 lumens. It's super small. The form factor is great. It's an awesome EDC item. You can lock out using this particular clip. It has USB-C functionality, and you can go ahead and use it as a keychain. You have different ways of manipulating the light, which with two LEDs, with two emitters, excuse me, it gives you twice of the beam that you would get on the Nitecore TIP, which personally to me is a great little keychain flashlight because I can put it with all this stuff. And let's be honest, this is pretty awesome. I mean, look at this. It's a little bit more, it's just a little bit longer than a key, but it's not nearly as wide as a key, okay? And this is what I keep in my pocket normally. And this, I barely feel this. If I added this instead of the Nitecore TIP, it would not be a large difference in footprint. Guys, you need to really check this out. And that said, what I am going to do is I'm going to be giving this particular Nitecore flashlight away. I'm going to give away the Nitecore TIP SE. So sound off below, okay, what it is that was your first EDC flashlight, okay? I want you to tell me what your first EDC flashlight was, and I want you to tell me what your current EDC flashlight, and I'm talking about the one you carry every day. It doesn't matter if it's a little LED that you keep on your keychain or something massive that you keep on you that takes, you know, 26650 batteries, 18650s, excuse me, 21700s, 18650s, whatever it is. If you carry it and it is your EDC, let me know what it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that number one, you need to be a subscriber. You can only comment once, and yes, you can invite a friend to sub and to comment on this. So if you have any questions on this, feel free to go ahead and send me a message via my website, dailycarrysolutions.com, or via my Instagram at dailycarrysolutions. Don't comment any questions below. If you have anything you'd like to say, feel free to go ahead and send it over by those means. If you want to win this light, just sound off below with your flashlight, your first EDC flashlight and your current. That way I know that is going to be your entry. And what I'm going to do is disqualify anybody else if they choose to say and comment anything else, and especially if they are not a subscriber. So make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and go ahead and comment down below with your flashlight of choice, and who knows, maybe you'll get picked. I'm gonna go ahead and let this run to today, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it run to September 30th. Okay, so I'm gonna let this run to the end of the month, and then I will choose a winner. So stay tuned on the onto the channel. I will go ahead and give updates, and in the meantime, hopefully this Nitecore TIP SE will be yours. But remember, no matter what light you EDC, it could be a Nitecore TIP, heck, it could be a Nitecore TIP LE. Hopefully it's going to be the TIP SE after the 30th. But just remember, if you EDC, think of DCS. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I gotta go. I will see you later. Peace.